And we are live with another session of the Castle of Glass campaign. Welcome back. How are you all doing tonight?
Doing alright. How do I make something full screen without pressing F11?
F11's the only way I know.
Oh, there it is.
He figured it out. Anywho, so previously, you lot managed to make it to the country of Osmond, where, well, before making it there, getting into a bit of a debacle aboard a plane, nearly causing it to crash. Not necessarily your faults, but a little bit your faults. Before managing to safely but haphazardly land at the airport in the city of... Oh god, what was the city called? I have so many cities. Wrong map. There we are. The city of Dalcraft, where you then took a cab, or not a cab, a Blinkhound bus to the city of Elrin, where you met with Orion, one of the adventurers who had gone on the journey with Atlas Ironheart and his crew. Getting a bit of information from him, learning a few things, and as well as inviting him to be able to come and stay in the tower if danger seemed to have followed him and he needs a place to hide out. As well as that, though, you were all given information on the location of potentially the next artifact, before all retiring for the night, which is where we will start. Oh, I was like looking for something and disappeared. So that night, Rhea, wisdom saving throw for me.
Okay. Pulling up the thing. Here we go. Have to click something like 4 times to get something rolled in here. 15.
15. All right. Let me check something real fast. Your night's a bit of a blur. Actually, I guess everyone at some point, early hours of the morning, probably around 4 or 5 in the morning, all awake to the sound of a loud crack, almost like that of thunder, somewhere within the tower. Rhea, you don't wake up to this. You wake up... Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But the rest of you, when you hear this loud crack, what do you guys... Will you do anything upon hearing this crack as you are all awakened with a start? You hear others kind of moving about outside, kind of making their way down to the bottom floor. Or will you guys ignore the noise? You go back to sleep? Thomas is like, I've heard enough shit in one life. I'm not dealing with this.
I'm going the fuck back to bed.
I'm going back to bed. This is bullshit. Okay. Is this the one I want? Yeah, this works. What about the rest of you? The Bog and Zin.
I'll probably go check it out.
Yeah, same.
Okay, the two of you make your way out of the room. As you guys are kind of going down, you also find that Cypher and Curie are also going down to investigate. As you all arrive to the bottom floor, you find Aurelia limping out of the library, clutching onto what looks to be a stab wound of some sort. Looking around frantically as she is coming out of the library, before, collapsing on the ground, kind of like suffering from a bit of blood loss.
Could I try and run up to them and help?
Yes, you can run over to her. She's kind of muttering under her breath as you approach, not really stringing together words. She seems to be in a bit of shock. Cypher, stops next to the two of you, and then looks off towards the library and then rushes into the library. While Kiri, as she comes up, kind of grabs a hold of Aurelia and kind of moves her hand to be able to like look at the wound in her side. Before helping you, I guess, trying to direct the two of you to like one of the couches to have her sit down.
I make sure they're not on sorry, one sec. They're not on is it Ria's couch?
Yes, the couch that Ria's wanting to claim all the time.
I make sure it's not Ria's couch.
Okay, you put her on one of the armchairs that's nearby. She's kind of holding on to it around this point. Asvlor comes down and looking around a bit confused, just kind of, what the hell is going on down here?
They've been stabbed.
I see that, but why? Like, who? I guess I don't know. And he kind of rushes over and starts like healing Aurelia's wounds, who's still muttering under her breath. Around this point, Ria, you would wake up with a very sore pain in your chest. Your head's kind of pounding a little bit. You are on the floor of your bedroom. Not really close to the bed either. You're not entirely sure how you got to this corner of the bedroom.
Considering I fell asleep on the couch. Sleepwalking. What the hell?
You have no idea anything is happening downstairs, by the way.
I'd look at my chest if it's in pain.
You have a few you're essentially, the front of your chest is bruising a little bit, as if you were hit with something.
Ouch. Is there like a mirror I can look at? If I'm like wounded there, I should check for a head wound.
Roll me an investigation check.
Okay. Another 15.
Wow, you are consistently rolling 15s. Looking into the mirror, kind of like looking yourself over. You as you kind of, check every part of your body, making sure there's no other wounds. You notice a small mark, just underneath your right arm, kind of like just below the armpit. Just out of sight enough that someone wouldn't notice it. You see a kind of this odd symbol. Roll me a history check, and that would give you more information on like what I could pretty much describe on it.
16.
Okay. You've seen this symbol before. It looks to be the symbol of a black helm, with almost what looks to be blood dripping from it. Essentially, is what this tattoo-looking mark looks like. You're not entirely sure where you've heard of it, but you do remember stories that originate from Sarthstag of this symbol. And with that, with that history check as well, you do remember this mark being important to the Church of the Firstborn, but you can't remember why.
Well, I'm going to, seeing this, I'm going to wash my face in the sink, kind of wake myself a bit, and see if I can go find somebody to talk to, because, cult shit happened in the middle of the night is not fun.
Yeah, there's, as you are kind of washing your face, there is a moment, like, as you pulled the towel from your face, something red kind of catches the corner of your eye, and as you turn, there's nothing there, but just kind of like the edges of your vision feel like there's something looming around you, but you don't know what.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit freaked out here, so I'm just gonna throw something on and just get the hell out of here and find somebody.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing? So as Valor is healing and checking on Aurelia, Cypher's in the library by himself. Timus is kind of looking down from the third floor, not sure what's going on down there. Hasn't come down himself. And Curious, pretty much sitting next to Aurelia, trying to like get her to calm down and try to get rid of the shock, essentially, of what has happened.
I'm gonna go follow Cypher into the library.
Okay. You enter the very vast-looking library that you guys have, seen once or twice already. You can see, as you kind of look around, you do notice, like, Cypher's tail is the last thing you see disappear behind a shelf, and the sound of him kind of, like, sniffing around, trying to track whatever was in here. If you'd like, roll an investigation to try to see if you can find anything.
Investigation.
Yes.
Or no.
No. You're still a little sleepy. You're a little groggy. You're not really finding anything because you're, kind of like half awake still. Still working on waking up.
I guess I'll just follow in the direction where I saw Cypher's tail.
Okay. Yeah, you turn the corner to like with the bookshelves that he's at. You can see like him kind of crouched over like a small pool of blood. That's probably Aurelia's. As well as where there's several books that have been knocked down. And he's down like he's down on all fours, like sniffing the blood.
You find anything, boy?
He kind of glances back at you, giving you like a mix of like a dirty look, but like kind of finding you humorous at the same time. And he kind of like gets back to his feet. And he goes, he's like, I don't get it. I smell Aurelia's scent here, but there's another that just kind of ends, and he kind of gestures like the end of the row, whatever. He's like, it ends just at the end, and I don't catch another scent for some reason.
I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
Sure, you cast Detect Magic. There is kind of a residual in the air of magic. Some sort of transformation magic. Transmutation, I guess would be the term, yeah.
And I can't tell if it came from Aurelia or anything else.
The origin of it does not feel like your standard arcane, like... It doesn't feel like one of your companions probably casted this, or at least the ones that were here during the scene of the crime. This feels... Roll me an Arcana check. As I'm like trying to describe like the way that this is, because I don't want to give too much, but I also want to give you enough to understand. Okay, with a 15. Something about this doesn't feel natural. Probably something more akin to maybe supernatural. Something that's clinged on to somebody, or even just is like lingering within these halls.
The tower's haunted.
Tower's haunted.
Well, it is a messed up situation.
You're telling me. You see him kind of like reach into one of his like pockets and like pulls out like, I guess essentially would be a handkerchief, and is like trying to like clean up the blood a little bit.
Aurelia's a wild magic, right?
She is a wizard, but she has a like a wild magic surge, essentially, is something that happens to her.
Cypher, this wouldn't be something from her wild magic stuff, right?
I'm gonna roll an Arcana check for him to see if he is able to tell you anything. Wow. All right. He kind of thinks it over, kind of like scratching his chin a little bit, and goes, "Possibly, but why would she injure herself if she? Well, I guess if it is wild, though. But why the stab? Why the stab wound?
That could have also been from maybe she conjured a sword or something and walked into it.
It's a possibility, but she seems a little too detail-oriented to do that. But until disproven, that is an option. Now that you say something, no, I haven't seen Cerberus.
You might know something.
Let's go check. Let's go check with him. Yeah. So the two of you kind of walk out of there. Ignore the rest of the party. Go straight to Cerberus's room. Knock on the door. I assume.
As I walk by the party, I'm gonna say, "Hey, tower's haunted."
And Kiri goes, "What?"
And I just keep walking.
What do you mean haunted? What does he mean by that?
Go ask Cerberus.
Yeah. He just like turns. She turns to the rest of the party. And goes, "What does he mean by that?" And, Asblor shrugs, just kind of confused. You knock on the door. There's a pause before the door slowly opens. One of Cerberus's 3 heads is awake. The other 2 both have sleep masks on, like the little eye masks. And he goes, what's going on?
Something happened to Aurelia. Something weird.
Define weird.
Supernatural.
Oh.
Not natural.
All right, and he kind of steps past you, pulling one of the eye mask off another one of the heads or whatever, and kind of walks over, kind of checks on Aurelia, kind of looking her over, kind of sniffing the air around her, as well as you can see his eyes. One of the heads, their eyes glow a whitish color for a moment, before going back to normal, and he kind of looks a little confused. Gets up and says, where did this happen?
In the library.
All right, and he turns and
kind of transmutation magic cast in there.
Transmutation magic. Intriguing. Would you mind showing me where? And he kind of gestures for you to lead the way.
Yeah, I'll show him.
So you and Cypher kind of lead him the way, kind of showing the half cleaned up blood pot, pool of blood or whatever, and the books that have still been knocked to the ground. And he looks about, kind of stepping past the 2 of you, kind of sniffing the air and looking about, and says, "This is quite peculiar, isn't it? Something intriguing. And you said this happened a few minutes ago, or fairly recently?"
Yeah, how long ago did we wake up?
It'd be by this point, 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, about 10 minutes or something. There was a large crack of lightning or something that woke us all up.
Interesting. I didn't hear a thing. And he kind of looks about, kind of waving a hand in the air, kind of, producing a bit of weave to try to identify what has happened here. Clearly himself casting detect magic. As he, looks about. And then he walks to the end of the shelf and kind of stops. Says, "I assume the 2 of you noticed that it doesn't leave a trace after this point."
Yep.
How peculiar. I'll have to look into this more. Well, if you all wish, you can go and get more rest before your day begins. I will take a look around and make sure nothing else happens.
All right.
And by this point, Ria, you step downstairs to find Osvalor and Kiri crowded around Aurelia, with Zin standing not too far from them, kind of looking over her kind of shaking form that's sitting upon one of the armchairs as Cerberus, Cypher, and Lebog come walking out of the library.
Sup?
Something weird happened to Aurelia.
Is she stable?
Asvalor kind of stands up and says, she should be fine after a few minutes and maybe some more rest. Whatever happened to her, she's in a bit of shock.
Cool. Because I woke up and it seems I took quite the thrashing myself.
Cerberus kind of,
And-
two heads that are awake kind of raise eyebrows and says, did you?
I'll show my bruising on my chest.
As you show this, almost as if he seemed to have teleported to you, essentially clearing the room in less than a second. He has both hands on your shoulders and is looking you over intently, and is sniffing the air around you as you are doing this. And he kind of takes a step back, kind of almost embarrassed of this sudden lunge at you. Says, I apologize for that. I thought I had a theory of what happened to you, but you don't seem to have any trace of whatever happened down here. Do you have any recollection of where the
wait.
bruises came from?
No, I have I'm even further confused because I woke up on the ground in my room, but I fell asleep down here on the couch. Yeah, you say you found her down here. Anyway, I also woke up with this marking underneath my armpit. And I'll show off that marking.
I'm gonna do a roll for something. Okay. He kind of gives you an odd look. Once again, kind of leans in towards you to kind of look over the marking a bit more. One of his, the sets of eyes once again turn a whitish color, as if he is casting a spell on himself to be able to see. Kind of takes a step back and says, "It's a peculiar mark indeed. Though still doesn't have the same trace of what happened down here. It'll require
It's
more research."
Stygian in origin, as in from Sarfstag.
Would that be any of the
Fascinating.
markings we would have seen in our session 0?
No, because they weren't visible out in the open if they were there.
Okay.
She recognizes it from the Church of the Firstborn, but you never saw the symbol. And Ria, as he kind of pokes at this mark with one finger, your eyes flash for a moment. You see a vision of essentially yourself in the snow, a group of people standing around you, silhouetted, as you feel an immense pain in your chest, as well as almost the sensation of every ounce of moisture within your body is being siphoned out of you before your vision snaps back, you kind of producing a loud gasp and nearly collapsing to the ground. He kind of takes a step back and goes, "My lord, Are you alright?
No. I imagine she'll be clutching her chest. Kind of like panting on the ground.
Perhaps it may be a good idea to lock your door from the outside whenever you rest. Maybe keep any possible situations from happening again. I don't think you consciously did something, but I do believe that you were a part of whatever happened.
Yeah. Well, do you happen to have anything for bruising?
He snaps a finger as a one of the constructs kind of comes over its chest, kind of opening up and reaches inside of its own chest and kind of pulls out a healing potion. Hands it to him, who then pops the cork off and hands it to you.
My favorite.
The bitter
Great.
liquid of healing potions. Yeah, so you drink it.
And
you know,
she'll chug that thing.
Yeah, very bitter taste. Yeah, handing back the vial to him after you drink it, the bruising kind of slowly disappearing, going back to normal. The mark though still remains. He says, "How about you all get some rest? I'll have my constructs keep an eye out, and I'll have one on station at your room, Rhea, to make sure that something doesn't happen again before you all wake."
Thanks.
And the same construct that kind of handed the potion kind of like offers you a hand to take you back up to the room.
Take it.
Yeah. So you get led back up, brought back into your room. The door closing behind you. You hear a lock. It's locked from the outside now. The rest of you, what are you doing in this moment as Cerberus kind of... I guess Cerberus is gonna... He comes over to Aurelia, kind of waves a hand over her head as she, like, still freaking out a little bit, kind of falls unconscious, and he, gently picks her up and says, I can take care of her and make sure that she recovers from this. If the rest of you wish to partake in the morning as you please, or get some more rest. And he walks out of the room, kind of heading upstairs to take her back to her room and make sure that she is accommodated. Lebog and Zin, what are you doing in this moment?
I'm going back to my room.
Back to bed. And make the
Actually, how
same
long would we have
assumption.
slept by
Back to
this
bed.
point?
Sorry.
By this point, it probably would have been like 6 or 7 hours. You guys would get like another hour or two of sleep to complete the long rest.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So yeah, you all go back to bed. Time goes by, waking up around, 8-ish o'clock. As you all kind of come back out, you find that Cypher and Timus are the only two that are out right now. Kiri is unaccounted for at the moment. Obviously, Aurelia is as well. And Asvalor is also probably still in his room at this current moment. Yeah, so as you all, each of you come down, including Urea, you are woken up by the construct to join your compatriots. Yeah, you only find Cypher and Timus, which I will put their pictures on screen to remind you of whom they are. Obviously, you guys remember Cypher, but Timus is one that hasn't really shown his face as much.
Good morning.
Cypher kind of gives you all kind of a nod. Timus says, morning.
I'm awake.
Yeah. Timus, not Thomas.
Oh, okay.
You're also awake, though, yes.
Damn it.
I'm awake.
I was going off the idea I was still asleep.
No, you're not still asleep. You are awake. You're an old man. You should be waking up at the fucking butt crack of dawn and going to bed at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Damn it. Fuck. Yeah, so the 4 of you, 5 of you, 4 of you come downstairs, you know, find these 2 are awake. Cerberus is also nowhere to be found. You assume he's probably still taking care of Aurelia. Giving you guys chances to RP or sell what you're doing.
I'm gonna bink the average temperature near Shelris in the city of Rust.
The average temperature of that area. I had to think about what you were talking about. I was like, is this supposed to be a meme? No, he's talking about the actual place. At this current point, it's kind of been sitting between the high 80s to low 100s. It's the warm season.
So it's not exactly sweater weather.
No.
I'm gonna be taking the time to unattune to my ring of warmth and attune to the bracers.
I'm probably just wearing like a tank top, and I'm just kind of like absentmindedly kind of scratching at that marking.
Okay. As you guys are kind of doing this as well, you know, Timus is sitting there kind of polishing his blade. Cypher is kind of twiddling his thumbs. Not really sure what to do with himself. And, as you guys are, you know, getting your things together and preparing to leave, Cypher kind of glances over to you guys and just says, you guys want any of us to come with, or you guys got this one?
Whoever wants to come, they can, you know, come. It's nice and warm. You know, want some sun? Feel free to tag along.
Kind of looks towards Timus, and Timus kind of glances towards him. They both kind of glance towards you guys again. If you guys don't say anything, I know what they're going to do. As they glance back towards each other, you know, Cypher kind of holds a hand up, kind of, you know, the gesture for rock, paper, scissors. Timus shrugs, kind of does the same, and they, let's see who wins this. Cypher wins it. You watch it, they both kind of do the gesture, you know, rock, paper, scissors, whatever. And Cypher plays paper, why Timus plays rock. Cypher kind of like does the little like, what how do you describe it? Reverse fist pump, kind of pulling the fist down, just like yes, and then just kind of like gets up, and as he does, reaches into a bag of holding he has on his side and pulls out a rifle that he has and throws it on his back and says, "All right, where are we going to?" So he kind of rubs his hands together.
Someplace in the mountains between Shelrish and the city of Rust. Right, that's where I said it was?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I guess lead the way. I'll be tagging along. So, you all leave. You are back out in the middle of the city of Elrin, the beautiful, you know, mountainside city. Looking up towards the mountaintops, you can see the temple of the 3 dragon sages, as well as the many religious reaches that are up there. I assume you guys are going to look for a way to get up to the
peak.
yeah, up into Gorgana quickly, or are you guys going to try to head up to talk with the dragon sages, or something like that?
I don't know what's our timetable here.
You guys don't really have a timetable. You just kind of know the location you need to go.
I say dragon sages then.
Okay.
Okay.
But no one else is gonna vote on that.
Dragging these nuts.
Ha!
And a meteor hits
someone
the
gets
city,
it.
and you all die at the end. No.
Yay.
Freedom! All right, you guys head up, kind of walking up the very large staircase leading up the side of this mountain. Constitution saving throws, everyone.
What the fuck is going on?
It's a big staircase.
It's a big ass staircase. I'm gonna fucking die. I'm an old man, bro.
15.
Okay, we got 115. We got 11. Okay.
I got a decent amount. I just gotta figure out where my fucking thing is. So I can give you a precise number. Constitution, yeah.
Yeah.
24.
Sorry,
Okay.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All of you, make your way up the mountain. Out of all of you, the bog, when you hit the top, you are hands on knees, panting heavily. Do rabbits sweat?
Yes.
Okay, yes, you are drenched in sweat.
I should say some do, actually.
Some do. Well, this one does. The bog, you are sweating. Rhea, you're a little winded, and Zin as well. You are, pretty winded. Cypher looks like he could probably run another, 10 miles. And Thomas, you feel great. You're really happy that you kept aerobically fit.
It's gonna
Hell
get
yeah.
up to the top of where we're going. I'm just gonna sit down and just kind of roll over on my back.
Okay. Upon getting up here, you can see closer to the detail of the temples. You can see the temple. There's a depiction of dragons upon the etchings upon the wall. Atop the design, 3 massive dragons reaching out towards an orb that floats in the air between them. The front entrance of this temple, very just massive double doors, approximately 100 feet tall, 50 feet wide, with a few smaller entrances along the sides of them, specifically look to be made for humans and other races. And you can see the double doors are opened on this fine morning. In the front chamber, looks to be a large dome-like shape with the statue of each of the 3 dragons at the center. Each depicting the same scene that's shown on the architecture of the outside, the 3 of them reaching up to this floating orb that seems to be, in the statue's case, actually floating between each of these statues. As you guys all enter inside to this large dome-like front chamber, you can see there are 3 more doorways, each with a label above them. To your left, you can see the Chamber of the Knowledge Bearer. Behind the statues to the back, you can see the Chamber of the War Bearer. And to your right is the Chamber of the Magic Forge.
Jeez, I wonder if their egos match the size of their statues.
Or if they're lifelike.
Can I make a sketch of the statues, to write down in my book, so I can
Yes.
kind of remember it later?
Yes, you can make a sketch of it.
How good is the sketch?
Roll me a performance. Actually, you're doing speed. Sleight of hand could work. Performance or sleight of hand?
Performance. I'm gonna do performance because that's a charisma base.
Yeah.
That's an 18.
All right. With that, yeah, you make a very fine. Like it's a rough sketch. It's dirty shading essentially, which is the kind of sketching style I prefer anyways. But yeah, kind of like dirty sketch. You kind of smudged a little bit of the lead or ink or whatever to like give it more of a like realistic shadowing essentially. You manage to do it fairly quickly. It takes you about 5 minutes while the others are kind of like debating which way to go. So, which way would you like to walk?
You said there's 3 chambers, or am I?
Yes. There is the
Um,
War Bearer, there is the Knowledge Bearer, and there's the Magic Forge.
Knowledge.
Knowledge. Okay, so that
meet the knowledge.
is that where you're going as well, Thomas?
I mean, it just makes sense.
Okay. Is everyone going with them?
Why not?
Okay.
What is
character- My character is in turning her brain off mode, where she just kind of absent-mindedly follows people around.
I feel that. You enter the chamber. Oh, wait, what was LeBog going to say?
No, I'm going with them.
Okay. Yeah, you all enter the chamber. You find on the other side of this massive like doorway what looks to be a vast library. The walls probably going up 50, 60 shelves apiece, covered in books. Kind of wrapping around the room itself is very oddly shaped, kind of like curved walls and pillars of shelves and things of that nature. And you can see near the back of the chamber is there's a single dragon, very massive amethyst dragon that is sitting within kind of a like ring that is upon the floor with several books around them, and seems to be gesturing to one of the books. It like opens up, flips through some pages, and like floats up to their eye view as they are reading through these books, kind of moving on to the next one. History check for anyone who wants to roll a history check if you can remember the name of said dragon.
24.
I got the same actually.
Okay, the two of you, not LeBog. Remember the name in passing. This is specifically Akira the Amethyst Dragon, also known as the Sage of Knowledge.
A lot of cures in my life, and I don't know how to feel about that.
There's two of them, and they were the second. The fact there's two is accidental, but I'll let you decide which one's the second.
You have 2 nickels. It's not a lot, but it's weird it happened twice.
Yeah. If I had a nickel for every time I met an Akira.
I'd have 2 nickels.
I will say with those 24s as well, you do remember the names of the other sages. The War Bearer is named Gira the Sapphire Dragon, and the one of the Magic Forge is Hephaestus the Brass Dragon. If you're wondering,
Okay,
yes, I did
read
pull
that.
from what you think I did.
It's in my book.
All right. You would also know with that 24 as well, in this library, what you can see is the common or unrestricted information. You can see behind this dragon, there is a section that looks to be blocked off via some sort of magical shield. That is the more delicate information that she allows only for certain people to have. And you have heard rumors of a section known as the Secrets of the Universe that very, very few, if anyone, have ever seen, that she keeps hidden somewhere in this library. You guys picked to come here. I'm just giving you the scene. You guys pick what to do.
I mean, I think Dragon of Knowledge probably look for information on the Dragonheart Crusade.
I was about to say So you said it's like a library with a bunch of books all around.
Yes.
Okay, would I be able to look through and see if any book in particular stands out more than the others?
Perception. It's a fairly high check considering there are thousands upon thousands of books in here. You are overwhelmed by the number of books that are in this library. The amount of knowledge this place holds alone is probably more than you'll ever get in a lifetime, is what you can tell.
Okay. I don't know. Well, I'm just gonna assume because there's a lot of books. Is there anything by the? You said it was a giant statue of the dragon in the middle of the room.
It's outside, and there's a center chamber of the temple. This is an offset of that center chamber to like.
Oh, okay.
This is a different room.
You're right. You're right. Yeah. I was just making sure because you said the history check after we got into the room.
Yes, you remembered the other sages essentially because you guys rolled over 20, which was enough to tell you all three of the sages' name.
Okay. I say. So with knowledge, I know the sages' names. Like I go through and I grab the like. Do all the books look like readable? Like, are they old, like damaged, or is it more or less, like...
They look pristine. You would be able to, with that history check, you would know that any book that has been put in this library has been mended via magic and been preserved so that it does not get destroyed anymore.
Okay.
I'm gonna wave.
At
How
Akira?
heavy is each book? Do I have a bag of holding?
Say that again?
How heavy is each book, and do I have a bag of holding?
If you don't have one in your inventory right now, you don't have a bag of holding.
Damn, worth a shot. I was just gonna start taking books.
Akira, without even looking in your all direction, as the bog waves towards her, without actually even opening her mouth, you all hear within your heads, how can I assist you all on this day?
Hey, did you all hear that too?
We're looking for information on something called the Dragon Heart Crusade.
Her eyes kind of flick towards a lot of you, kind of looking straight at all of you. The book that's kind of floating next to her face kind of snaps shut. She turns her...
See, we've hit a nerve.
Yeah, she turns her attention towards you and kind of lowers herself a little bit to be a little more at eye level with a lot of you. And says, and what information are you looking for about this Dragon Heart Crusade?
I'm just gonna assume Remus I'm just gonna assume Remus is here.
More than you know right now.
The organization has been targeting our young ward here.
He just kind of waves and just hi. I do know a thing or two about them, as I've kept records of every group that I've ever come across in my lifetime. She kind of waves it as she kind of sits back up and waves a claw in the air. You watch as probably 5 or 6 books slip from various shelves and start circling around in front of her before they kind of like lower to the ground to what looks to be a table about 20-30 feet from her. Each of the books kind of setting themselves on the table. She says, I will warn, though, most, if not every person who has come across this information in time has crossed their path in a undesirable way.
They've already tried killing us a few times. And I don't think that's going to stop unless we stop them doing it.
That is fair. And since you've already experienced their wrath, essentially, this information shouldn't hurt them. She gestures towards the books on the table for you to look upon as she continues doing her own reading once more. As you're standing there as well, you hear her voice say, if there's anything else, let me know.
Do you have anything about the Phoenix's prize?
One of her, kind of raises an eyebrow and kind of glances towards you and says, that's a peculiar statement to make. Do you have any more information on this prize of sorts?
Not really, no. It's just something about the resting place of it.
Let me see what I can find. And she kind of turns her back to the lot of you and kind of, you can see the section that's behind the ward or whatever is like some of the books are sliding off of shelves and coming to her, and she's like looking at them and sending them back. While she is doing that, I assume you all look at the books about the Dragon Heart Crusade.
Might as well.
Investigation checks. Whoever wants to read one of the books, there's a book for everyone.
Ooh, nice.
I didn't do too good.
It's all Greek to me.
Well, I had a 13. It's not terrible.
Damn, Lebog. You're coming to play.
I was almost an out one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thomas, you go through the book that you have. It's a little hard to follow. Very cryptic, a lot of what is being said. The only thing you kind of get out of it is this group is looking to like mess with something that's pre-calamity, but you're not entirely, it doesn't necessarily say what. Cypher and the Bog, as they're reading, Lebog, you find yourself surprisingly intrigued by this book. Almost as if it was the one thing that you needed to read to actually like sit down and read something. Going through it, you can see, this group has been around for probably almost 1,000 years, maybe longer. They have been known to keep in secret, often causing the blame of certain assassinations or certain events on other groups to try to keep their tracks hidden. There is note in there as well of they are disliked by the Black Claw, as the Black Claw has been blamed for a number of their failed attempts at certain things, and that has kind of soiled the Black Claw's reputation a little bit as being one of the best syndicates in the world for, assassinations, heists, things of that nature. And looking in there as well, you see a name being mentioned a few times, but there isn't any like big details on this name. The name you keep getting is supposedly a current leader down a lineage of leaders. Actually, no. There's been like 3 leaders of this group over the 1,000-year period. The other 2 names are unknown. The one that you keep seeing, though, probably 3 or 4 times in this book is Mithra. And a note of her brutish, almost barbaric strategies in getting her desired tasks completed.
That sounds like the person that's been sending people to kill us.
Yeah, but beyond that, you don't have there. You guys don't find any other information. I will say that the ones that are super distracted by their books would definitely notice that Cypher, as he's reading this, is kind of like leaned on the table, kind of like both hands, like elbows on the table, hands holding up his head. His tail is slightly wagging as he is reading this, as if he is greatly enjoying what he's reading. Or it's the
I
fact that he's
see.
being, or he's glad that he's being included in something. I don't. Who can tell?
Insight.
Insight? Sure. Roll an insight check.
Damn, I really want to know what's going on with him. That's a dirty 20.
That's a dirty 20. That passes. Yeah. He appears to both one. He is enjoying what he's reading as he is very focused on it. In addition to that, you can definitely tell he's happy to be here. He's just happy to be included, considering the last few times you guys and you come to the realization that he didn't like not being invited.
Mm.
And this, since he was allowed to come this time, he's enjoying himself.
What a lad. I let him think he's included.
That's just rude, man. Anyways, around this point, after you guys finish your readings, Akira turns around and looks down to you, Lebog, kind of lowering her head to be kind of eye level with you, keeping her distance a little bit as not to overcrowd you, essentially. And as she does, without opening her mouth once again, speaking to you telepathically, just says, I couldn't find much on your Phoenix Prize, except for a mentioning of a hellscape that possibly hides something pre-calamity. Though no information on how to get to such a hellspace.
And it didn't say anything about where this was.
The only let me pull up the thing that I need for that. She is going to repeat something that you guys have definitely read before. Well, maybe you haven't read, but your character's definitely read. She says the words. Too far down. There it is. She says the words within your head. In place of screams and echoed cries, the resting place of the Phoenix Prize, where the hell's come forth. Yeah, she just quotes that whole thing. You've read it. That's how you got the Phoenix Prize thing.
Just that same poem.
She does make a seeing your bit disappointment by repeating this. She does make a comment. Since the last time I've read that, I have come across a rumor of a means of getting there is. Now, this is probably something you don't want to hear in this way, but falling to a situation that should kill you when an individual wishes for you to die in another way.
What?
It's a bit
So-
confusing, yes, but essentially the best way to describe it if you get on someone's, I guess, bad side enough that they wish for you to have eternal suffering and you are going to die in a way that is less gruesome than they desire, there is a chance you can be sent to this place. Though these are just speculations and rumors.
Well, you heard it, guys. We just gotta die to get there.
I think it's being taken out of context or too literally. I can't decide which.
Alright. She kind of lifts her head back up and says, "I apologize if for any confusion of that, or if it was of little to no existence in this situation. But my information
It was
is
actually
limited."
surprisingly good. It's more just we don't understand the context or what it's supposed to lead us to right now.
Yeah. She says, "Well, that's more than what I have come across thus far. If you do find information, though, that you want to share at any time, you know where to find me. I'm always looking for more." And then she as she notices, you know, the group of you have finished reading the books or whatever, close them or whatnot, kind of waves a claw. The books kind of pull themselves away from the table and kind of reinsert themselves into the shelf, and says, "I hope the information you were able to find on the Dragonheart Crusade was sufficient. Is there anything else I
For the
can
most part.
grant you or assist you with in this time?"
Not
Yeah,
particularly.
the book I read kept mentioning someone named Mithra. You wouldn't have anything on them, would you?
Lebog, roll me an insight check. She shakes her head and says, "No, the name is familiar, but I don't believe I have one on a specific Mithra. Not one associated with that group." Is there
Do I
anything
get
else,
anything for
though?
that insight?
With that insight, she seems genuine about this.
All right. Oh, I'm good.
Anyone else? Is it
No
crazy
further
noise?
questions. Actually, I would ask for some information.
What information would that be?
I guess I would ask for more information on the Temple of the Firstborn, and I'd show her this marking that appeared on me. I'd tell her I know it's from Sarfstag in origin, and that it has connections to the temple, but I'm unsure of its specific meaning.
She gives you a bit of a look of concern. She recognizes the symbol, only within your head, not to anyone else. You hear within your head that is a symbol, a very dark symbol from the time of the war between Sarstag and Almore. It's related to a very specific person of that time that did a few fairly heinous things. An individual who goes by the name... Find it. Individual that goes by the name, where did he go? I just saw the fucking note. Jesus. There it is. The Black Knight of Sarthstag. She then says, "I would be weary of that mark, as it possibly is a remnant of his soul that's latched onto you."
That's disconcerting.
You mentioned the Temple of the Firstborn.
Correct.
That symbol was probably given to you by them in the attempts of doing whatever ritual they've been attempting for the last 200 or so years.
So
I would
you're
stay
aware
clear of
then.
them. I would stay clear of them at all costs.
Yeah. That's been my experience as well.
She kind of gives you a nod. And once again, all through all of your heads once more, just... Is there any other information I can lend to all of you that is, that could be helpful in whatever your journey ahead of you has?
Nope, I'm good.
Yeah, no, not in particular, no.
She gives you a nod and just says, well, feel free to look around if you please. If not, I bid you luck on whatever journey you have ahead of you.
Thank you.
She goes back to reading. So I assume you all head out of the library. The bear, that of the layer of the bearer of knowledge.
Yep.
Okay. You guys step back out into the main dome front, I guess the front dome of the temple. What would you guys like to do now?
Are we able to go to a different
Sage?
chamber?
Yes, you can go to the Warbearer's Chamber or the Magic Forge.
Magic Fort. Por favor.
Okay. You all...
If go that way.
I guess... I assume everyone's staying together.
Yeah.
Okay. You all press into the chamber opposite of the Knowledge Bearer's Chamber. You can see within this chamber, it's a lot hotter in here. The moment you step in here, the temperature probably increases 30, 40 degrees. It's like 120 degrees in this room alone. You can see near the back this massive brass dragon who is, at the moment, hammering his own fist into a large piece of metal that is upon a massive anvil. Forming the metal, in a way, a number of constructs moving around this massive forge of sorts. You can see along the back wall a collection of what look to be enchanted items kind of on the wall behind this dragon. Each of which look to be protected by sorts of wards and things of that nature. And then near the kind of far left side of the chamber, away from most of the forge, you can see what looks to be a large arcane circle with several tools kind of scattered around it. That looks to be essentially a workspace for enchanting items and things of that nature.
Hello.
You see him like slam his fist one more time, and he kind of brings it back up. And then he kind of like lowers it slightly and turns and says, "Oh, I have visitors. Didn't realize anyone had come in." He kind of just picks up the piece of like orange hot metal and just kind of drops it into like a thing of oil. A very massive like pool of oil that's kind of off to the side, and kind of shakes kind of a little bit, and you see like bits of like molten metal and like soot and stuff like fall off of him as he turns towards a lot of you and just says, "And what brings you all to my chambers on this day?"
What were we here to see this guy about again?
I don't know. Zin wanted to come in here. Do you sell magic items or do you just make them?
I create them. I've never been much for selling things, and also create constructs and other metalwork items. He kind of looks down at himself for a second and goes, He goes. He kind of mutters something to himself and just says, "Give me a moment." He kind of like takes a step towards a lot of you, and then like a swirl of like flames and like gold, essentially, or like brass light, kind of spins around him as he, in a flash, goes from a massive dragon to a bronze dragonborn, dressed in a blacksmith's apron, you know, hammer, on his belt, things of that nature. Kind of probably about 11 feet tall, burly. Kind of walks up to a lot of you now. A little more your height. Just says, are you interested in having something commissioned or created?
Could I ask you if you've made something in the past? Pardon me for asking. How old are you?
I'm trying to remember how old these dragons are. A little over 1,000 years old.
Okay. Do you remember ever making some kind of dragon armor type thing?
Define dragon armor type thing, because I have made dragon scale armor before from materials brought to me.
Is this shield one of your pieces? And I show the dragon scale shield of mine.
I'm gonna roll something to see how composed he is able to stay. Oh shit. His eyes light up, and not just in the metaphoric sense, like legitimately, like a flaming excitement comes from him as he kind of like comes over to the shield and kind of like doesn't touch it, but like looks like he wants to grab a hold of it. And he's just like kind of looking it over and just like saying things just like, "Oh, what amazing craftsmanship," and kind of without touching it, but almost as if he's running his hands across like the edge of it and stuff, and is just like admiring it in every way. And just says, "Hey, where did you find such a beautiful piece?"
It was in the cavern of that guy who wanted the worm egg, right?
And we
Looking
found
to
it
the
near
others.
Peak Ridge.
I didn't know such a thing existed. I didn't know there was even craftsmanship this spectacular that had been created. I obviously assume you don't want to depart with such a thing, because I wouldn't if I was to have it. I could not even compare to something of this level of craftsmanship. It's almost divine how well created this is.
Has a few side effects, but it's a good piece.
Kind of gives a nod, like, trying to like put himself back together, trying to be very professional about everything once again. And kind of looks towards like around a lot of you and says, "Do all of you have such items such as this one, or is this the only one that you found?"
That's the only one we found so far. Or no, we found another one, but we don't have it.
I'm like waving at my neck. Stop.
What
Stop
are you,
telling him
talking,
things.
Thomas? What's wrong with you?
I lean in and I go, no, this is like a fucking, we're talking to a dragon, right? Someone who actively looks for artifacts,
Cypher-
or is like known to do so.
Cypher leans in and goes, "What are we talking about?"
I'm telling him he's not supposed to be telling him about the other artifacts.
Oh, and he just turns to you, Levon, and goes, "Don't tell him." And he kind of like tries to
He seemed
be.
pretty composed. He didn't rip the. He could have easily killed Rhea and taken the shield if you wanted to.
You're right, but don't give him a reason to do it.
I mean, I think it's too late for that.
It's a shame we lost Rhea today. That's essentially what you're saying.
Specifically Rhea. No one
Yeah.
else.
It's a shame Rhea died. um,
The shame it had to be the way it was.
yeah. Yeah. What? By this point, he's gotten his composure back. He's standing up straight once more, like occasionally glancing over towards the shield, but is now like looking back to all of you and says, "Well, beyond enjoying this impressive piece, is there anything you wish for me to create or enchant?"
I do, but I would I'd like to talk about it in private if we could.
Of course.
Um,
You all wouldn't
He
mind,
said
right?
private.
This
Sorry.
can
motherfucker.
so does my book have like the protective seal on it?
Yes.
Could I get it enchanted
The
as
seal
well?
or the book?
The book.
How are you wanting it? I guess I say, how are you wanting it enchanted?
Like kind of like this like to add. Well, I'm not entirely sure on how enchantments work fully.
Enchantments can be literally almost anything.
Add +1 to my charisma.
That is a possibility of something that could be done.
I would like that for my book.
Okay, so I guess you tell him that of just like an enchantment that would help with charisma, essentially. He kind of gives you a nod, kind of thinks it over for a moment, and says, "I believe I can do that. There is a fee, of course, something of that nature." And he kind of sits there, kind of like crunching the numbers within his own head, and says, "Probably 2,000 gold pieces would be something that would be the normal price for something of that nature."
Can you make it a charisma +2? I'll pay extra.
That might be a little trickier, but if we do that, it would probably be 5,000, considering it would be a lot more difficult of an enchantment.
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay. Let me speak with your friend real quick. If you all want to stand over there, and kind of gestures towards the enchanting circle, and says, he has something he'd like to speak with me.
Oh.
Now, I guess I gotta do whispers.
Yeah.
And I'm in caps lock for some reason. I apologize. Yelling at you. Ah!
I mean, you can't multitask.
No, I'm thinking of like how to fulfill your request without breaking the subclass you have. Because what you're requesting
I
is
die every time I use it.
is legitimately changing what I already programmed in for your subclass.
I mean, if it can't be done, it can't be done. It is what it is. I guess I'll have to go suck dick somewhere else.
That's my offer.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, that's what I thought you. That's what I thought you'd say. Okay, so on that note, he takes you, I assume Thomas is gonna go do his thing. You talk with him about that. He says he'll take care of it in a minute after he finishes with her book. Give him like an hour. He'll get that done, and then he can help you. You head off to your thing. I will send you information. The rest of you.
1 second. But with the book, do I have to be with it because of the seal that's on it that will catch people on fire?
You're able to, because the way the seal would have been set up, you're able to essentially deactivate it, or I guess like you can make it so it doesn't blow up in his face.
Okay.
Because if you didn't, that would just be stupid. Or if you didn't have the power to do that, it would just be stupid,
Yeah.
So yeah, you can deactivate it. He spends the time. He kind of places your book in the center of the circle. You watch as like 6 constructs come over, and they start, hitting parts of the circle, the enchantment circle. One of them like crushes up like various gems and crystals, and kind of like either with the sand, I guess, like the crystal sand or whatever, or the powder, kind of like makes symbols around your book or whatnot as they're all doing their thing. He doesn't really do much. He just is kind of like standing there, kind of arms crossed at the top of the circle, just like, it doesn't look like he's doing anything. He's just kind of watching the constructs do it.
Yeah.
He's doing what Chef Meowster does in Monster Hunter.
He's the supervisor. He's making sure everything's going right.
He makes sure it's all right, and then like he does like the final touch to it.
Cool.
So yeah, after it's done, gives you for the 5,000 gold pieces.
Yep. I'll go ahead. And
I
take that
will.
away.
Yep, I will do something to your thingamajig. I think I can update this, can't I? Can I change this?
That puts me at 19 charisma.
Oh, yeah, it increases your charisma, so I guess I can just do this. Bam. All right. Cool. I don't need to add an item for it. We just know that you have the +2 because it's part of your feature now. Okay. Once this is done, though, let me send a whisper to Miss. To Miss. What is happening?
No.
Chowder.
Chowder?
Yeah, we're watching Chowder while we eat our pizza.
Oh.
You
Just
take
like
the moon and you take the sun.
Alright, like the
It's a
recreated
show.
version where you just continuously repeat take the moon and take the sun, and it just keeps repeating
No,
itself forever.
It's you just take the moon and you take
Oh yeah.
the moon.
Yeah, that's it. You take
You
the
take
moon and
the
you take
moon.
the moon and
Take
you
the
take the
moon.
moon. Okay.
Such a good show.
He's typing because you can hear it.
Shut up. My whispers are very. I have loud whispers. Okay, I'm not indoor. I don't do indoor voice. We do outdoor voice only. We got to do the outdoor voice.
This is where it turns out that somebody here you're good enough to know the exact keys we pressed and is deciphering our messages as we speak.
If anyone could do that, it would be Jared.
Yeah, that seems like a Jared thing to do.
And it would only be for me because my keyboard has always been loud. So Anywho, so you all do those things, you all, what do you guys do once you've all like left, the forge after this, or is anyone else having him commission anything?
I'm going to walk up to Xena. All right, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do it. I'm gonna make sure everybody's kind of just like facing the other way or something, and I'll walk up to her. And I'm just gonna take out the stone and like wave it in front of her. There or like at her.
Once again, as it had done before, that kind of reddish glow kind of comes off of her.
Mm.
All right,
I
the
put
reddish glow,
lodestone away.
yeah, comes back. As you go to put it away, as you said you did that to Xena, right?
Yeah.
As Rhea is passing by you, the stone turns a different color.
Oh.
Something more of a attuned to fire. Not quite the hellish appearance or like the reddish appearance that it had before, but more of a flickering flame within the lodestone itself as she kind of walks past you to go out of the forge,
What the rock doing?
defending
What's
his
the
country.
rock doing? Being a true patriot.
Yeah. I had the Russian Badger video of the floating like mech hound floating through the air. What the dog doing? Defending his country. um
So you said the dragon walked by?
no. Rhea, the one who has the dragon shield. One of the artifacts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rhea. Question.
Yeah.
Okay, can I see the shield real quick?
No.
Why not?
I don't know, but I feel like I do not want to part with it.
Well, this is easy, right? This is easily solvable, right? What I need is for you to place it down and walk towards me really quick, and I'm gonna step like a couple feet away.
I feel like that should be
Roll-
easy, but it feels like
roll me the saving throw that's associated with the shield.
okay.
Oh, there's a saving throw involved. Oh fuck.
Yeah,
like,
you can't put down the shield.
It's like
She-
Dragon's Avarice or something.
She has like a dragon's hoarding mentality, so she can't give up things.
That's
you
the
go.
side effect that I mentioned is associated with being.
I will also make a
attuned to
note
the
as
shield.
well. In this moment, as you're kind of saying that, like the skin around her face is looking a little more scaled than it is like smooth skin anymore.
Oh no.
She's not like turning into one, but like she has some resemblance to one now.
You can come and look at the shield, but I'm not willing to lend it to you.
Well, the thing is, I'm trying to. I kind of like wave the lodestone vaguely and hide it again. I'm trying to see if this reacts to you specifically or the artifact.
Okay. She's trying to think like she knows about like the curse, so she's trying to kind of like think her way around it.
roll
Like
me the saving throw again.
Easy, right? I already got it. You'd rather not part with it in a dragon's lair.
that's only a 12.
His idea sounds a little safer, but you're gonna need to, for this to work. Essentially, you need to be somewhere where there is no chance anyone is going to take this.
Let's try a third location then. I think yeah, like bringing that up, kind of like being like a dragon's lair, there is that like competitiveness that is flaring up
Yes.
to like the point where she would be more obliging to participate in your experiments elsewhere.
Very well. Where would be a good spot? I mean, we're currently in a dragon's lair.
When we're not in a dragon's lair.
You know, good point.
I like that.
you know.
As per your request, are you going to stick around for a minute before you do this, Thomas? Or are you gonna wait on this?
I'm gonna wait to receive my item back.
Okay, so yeah, you do that. Specifically, your ability to cast your firebolt gets a +2 now. I don't know how to add that on D&D Beyond. But yeah, you have a +8 now to the attack roll instead of a +2. Actually, we'll change it on Foundry to just change the thing of like what your bonus is.
Beastie.
If I can figure out how to do it at some point. But on that note, yeah, so you get your thing back. You know, it helps you with your casting. So what do you guys want to do now?
No, there's a third dragon.
I'm going to cast my singular glamour weave charge to make my glamour weave cloak wave in non-existent wind.
Yes. His cloak
I strike
shakes
a
in the
heroic
wind.
pose as I wait patiently for my item. And then I return to the group. That's it.
Yeah, so you know, you wait patiently. This is a very quick process because the thing he's doing is not. Also for yours, he'd be charging you $2,000 for it, considering it's a single thing.
Not so easy.
Yeah, not so easy.
I'm poor now.
Fucking poor.
Well, I mean, it depends on how my investments come back, but right now I'm poor.
But right, yes. Okay, so on that, so you all step out back into the front kind of entrance of the temple. It's becoming a little more busy. More people are starting to come in here. You know, probably about 10, 15 people walk past you as you come in here, or start coming out in this one thing. You know, if you head towards the library section, 1 or 2 goes to the Warbearer's place. 1 guy goes into the forge by himself. Heavily armored, like plate mail, looks to be trying to get something enchanted. What would you guys like to do? Or do you guys want to leave and head north?
I did all I needed to do.
What time is it?
By this point, it'd be like 10, 11 in the morning.
I mean, do we want to talk to the Warbearer?
I take out my abacus and move a few of the things as if I'm doing a calculation, and I go, yeah, might as well.
Did you have to calculate that?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna walk
Okay.
towards the door.
You guys head to the final chamber of this kind of area, the Warbearer's chamber. Upon entering, it's kind of set up like a museum. You see glass cases kind of along the walls. You can see there's a large shelf covered in scrolls, books, other things that look to be historic records, as well as a wall on the very backside. There's a wall on the backside of very large, dangerous-looking weapons with multiple like glyphs and wards surrounding it. You can see there's like a wall of force that you can clearly see like keeping anyone from getting near these weapons. One of them on the wall is a literal flaming sword that is like the flames coming from it are a good like 20 feet in length. And within the room, you see a sapphire dragon kind of nestled in a heap of like, I guess, weapons that are in the back. Just kind of, you know, napping.
Should we interrupt the dragon?
There are other people in this room. You can see the other people in this room are just admiring the weapons in the cases, and one of them is kind of like looking through some of the scrolls that are on the shelf.
Is it all weapons or is there like armor too?
There's armor as well. Yeah, weapons, armor. There's a few like special magical items that look to probably do something.
I'm gonna go take a look at the armor, see if anything might resemble whatever the dragon armor we're looking for is.
Okay, looking through the various armor pieces. You can see none quite shows that of like a phoenix. The closest one to it, there's one that has a note of like the armor of the firebird, which looks to have a set of like brass wings on the back of it. But it does not have the phoenix feathers and the phoenix crest on it.
They
But,
silent
yeah.
after that one.
Beyond that, there's nothing of specifics for that phoenix armor.
All right. I don't know what we expected to get in here, but I'm not finding anything.
Let's bounce.
Yeah, all right.
So you all head out of the Temple of the Three Dragon Sages. What is your next? Are you going to find a way of transversing northwards, or?
Well, if we want to find a secluded spot, we could try that experiment with the lodestone.
That is true.
We can
Should
go
we
back to
do
the
that?
tower real quick.
Oh yeah, true. Well, we have to find a tavern.
Taverns
Yeah.
are at the bottom of the mountain, back where you were, like in the housing districts and shit.
Good point. That's probably where we'd find transportation anyway.
Yep. So yeah, you head back to the tower. Getting inside, upon entering, it's actually empty right now. This is the first time you guys have gone into the tower. There's no one doing anything in here right now. Upon getting in here, Rhea, you do feel safe enough to put the shield down and walk away from it. Probably up to
Going
like
to-
15 or 20 feet.
Then I'm going to do that, so we can conduct this experiment, and I can get my thing back.
Yes. So I'm gonna follow Rhea, and I'm gonna wave and I'm gonna like, put the lodestone like within a couple inches of her.
So as she walks away from the shield, the stone, the flickering flame within it kind of dies. It seems it's the shield itself that is triggering this effect.
Would like to test that. I want to make it obvious I'm like not doing anything to shield and be like make it so it's visible to her, and then hold the lodestone out to the shield.
Yeah, you hold it in the direction of the shield. There's a slight itch in the back of your mind of like almost like a miniature panic of just like I have to protect it, but then you kind of like you manage to like pull back a little bit, not lash out.
So, it does glow though.
Yes.
I stand back up and I wave her gently so that she can pick up her shield.
I retrieve the object.
The object in question.
Yes, the object in question.
I now begin I begin messing with my abacus and pondering. Before she walks away, I look up and I go, well, that was actually very insightful. Thank you for the time.
Cypher
Yeah,
kind of leans over your
sure.
shoulder and just kind of like, what was that about?
A mystery I have yet to solve. As I glance over at Xena and I go back to doing my math and pondering.
Does it have something to do with the artifacts?
It may.
Do you want me to get the fox
there's
mask?
Do you have do we have the fox mask on us? I thought we left that somewhere. No, we have
It's
it.
it's
I'm
it's
done.
in the
Oh,
work.
yes,
It's
yes,
in,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
He's like, it's in the workshop. I'll go get it. And he like kind of darts off. And like before you could say anything, he's already back in the room, like holding the mask in both hands. Cypher is very fast.
So I gesture at the floor. Is like same thing. Put it down. Step away, please.
He puts it down and kind of like takes a few steps away. This time, as you kind of bring the lodestone towards kind of the mask, the only way to describe the color, it's almost like a beige silvery green is the only way to describe it. Of just like, and it almost looks like within the lodestone, like you kind of almost get like visions of like beige entities kind of dancing around within this light, essentially. In short,
go
the
over
mask
to
seems to have
Cypher and-
Feus
and-
information.
I go over to Cypher and kind of wave it at him.
Nothing happens, you know, he just kind of like stares at it, and then looks at you and stares at it. As you do this too, though, he does pull down, he has a set of goggles on his forehead that you know, or he pulls out a set of goggles and kind of like puts them over his eyes and kind of like looks at the stone while you're doing this, and you see like actually one of the lenses like twist and almost like focus, like you see like the intensity of the lens like focus more as he looks at it and goes, that
Fancy
it-
goggles.
he's like, that's a interesting stone you have.
I know. I'm trying to figure out what exactly it does.
And based on what I can tell from these goggles, it identifies certain energies, I think.
From what I
believe.
can tell, it identifies the artifacts. And I glance back over at Xena and I go, and I think we may have a third.
He kind of looks at Xena, like tries to do like the inquisitive look, and then goes, "Yeah, I'm not tracking."
What's Xena doing right now? Like as this is happening.
I heard my name. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
What are you doing at this current moment while they're doing their little experiments with the masks and stuff?
Oh, with the mask. I'm just studying my book. Speaking either the drawing of the dragons from the main room that we saw, and then just inspecting the, I guess like the spell or whatever they put onto the book to upgrade it.
Okay.
So in theory, all the artifacts we're tracking down should have these auras about them that the stone can detect.
Oh, really?
Correct. So I look back at Cypher and I go, well, we know that the lodestone reacts to the artifact's energy. It reacts to the dragon shield. It reacts to the fox mask, and I kind of like lean in a little closer to make sure nobody's catching on or like listening in. I go, it's also reacting around Xena.
Oh yeah.
And
is
as
that
far
my
as
rock?
as far as I know, she hasn't told me about an artifact she has.
I don't know if I have an artifact.
Well, can we check it against the artifacts in the journal? Might be some unaccounted for that you've somehow come into the possession of. It's a long
Yeah.
shot, but
Yeah, we can go through. Like, we can go back to the house. You can see all my stuff. I have no problem. Just my book is mine. Don't touch.
no touchy.
I do a suspicious glance
Talks
at
amongst
everyone.
yourself for a second.
I do a suspicious glance at everyone and I go, but what if that's the artifact?
It's not. I don't think. This is a gift from my patron. This is my book.
I glare even. I'm like over the glasses, like pulling them down, looking at you, like draw the lines here. Pun.
Well, it's not a gift from my patron. It was just a book that my patron made a book, but it wasn't a fancy book until after the first time it glue.
I'm pulling my glasses down so far they're literally off of my face.
You just take them off.
Just I take off the. Hold on, I have a gift for this. Just hold on. There you go.
The baby lame.
Man, chat feels so lost right now on that. Like, they have a GIF. We can't see it.
So they get for not being able to see the damn chat.
Well, we don't. I don't want them to see. I don't want them to see the Discord chat, bro.
28 stab wounds.
There you go. That's the reason why. Just proving my point.
Banger, though.
It is a banger, but still, it's not what we need to see. Okay. Yeah, you kind of say that too. Like, I'm gonna roll something for Cypher as he's going to. He kind of looks at your book from a distance without you even like. You don't necessarily notice he's doing this. He goes, and he kind of like. Before you notice, he's like standing next to you, like crouched down a little bit, like looking at the book. And then just kind of like looks back towards Thomas and goes, "Yeah, I don't think this is one of the artifacts."
No.
If I could put my glasses down any farther or harder, I would.
I'm looking for the docs. There it is. I'm scrolling through. I'm double checking. I'm cross-referencing. As I scroll through my own book to see a picture of my own book.
Poggers!
Wait a minute.
Bookception.
This really is an update the autopsy report moment.
Yeah, really.
I don't see no picture of a book in here.
You said your patron made it out of another object, didn't you?
Are we going to use this mask at all? And you see Cypher now, like, he's disappeared from being next to Xena while you were doing that. And he's now, like, backstanding next to you, Thomas, with the mask in his hand. He's just kind of, like, looking it over. He's like, are we going to use this at all?
I look at it, and I look at him, and I go, I'll be honest, I don't even remember what it does.
I think it's like, what, the ability to disguise yourself?
I pull out a hat, and I put it on my head. I use my cap of illusory visage.
Yes. Your hat of disguise. He goes, Cypher says, if I'm remembering correctly, it makes one more deceptive and persuasive, I believe.
I take the hat off, and I go, well, you know.
He's kind of holding up the fox mask in front of his, and he just, like, his own face or whatever. He goes, I don't think it would fit me, though.
I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean, it's a magical artifact. I don't see why it wouldn't just, like, meld to your face, to your contortions of your face.
He kind of just, like, places on his head sideways, like it's sticking sideways. He's like, I can wear it like this.
Jim carries the mask.
Damn, bro.
I'm not seeing any stuff that might shout at me. I don't know. I could just be wrong.
This is what testing is for. Where are we going now?
You guys said north, right? Between what two cities was it?
Did we say north? Yeah, no, it was north.
He points at Lebog. He said it.
I've been bonking this whole time looking for cheap transportation to the cities.
Oh, he goes to point at Lebog. Lebog's not. Lebog is like in the corner somewhere. You looking around. You do notice, kind of like checking stuff in the city, there is a teleportation service that can get you to Chelris. It can get you to a number of places. But there is a specific one for, one of the circles does go straight to Chelris.
But is it the cheapest option?
The others, considering the distance of one which would have to travel, it would be ever so slightly more expensive than getting a bus or a cab fare to get up there, and would take you less than a day instead of a matter of days. It would take you like 2 days by bus or car. A full day by plane because of TSA and stuff like that. And the teleportation service would take you probably 3 hours.
Hey guys, do we want to teleport where we're going, or do we want to like normally drive or fly?
I don't know. What's your opinion on teleportation? Are we really the same person that went into the teleporter? Are we a clone?
I'm pretty sure we're the same person.
I don't see how that's relevant.
As far as I'm concerned, it's the same molecules going in and out.
Is there really a continuity of consciousness?
Well, I feel like the weave would kind of sort all that out.
Did you say weed?
The weave.
The weave.
Yo!
Oh
I have-
fucking god, it's the Wii.
I have trouble interacting with the weave, so I'm not sure.
I don't think this would be an issue. It's not necessarily you casting any spells, like what I can do. And he kind of like, you see Cypher hold a hand up and like electricity like sparks out of his hand. He's like, I think we can give it a shot. I think it's been a while since I've teleported last by teleportation circle.
Okay. I'll trust you on this.
I will let you know it is going to be slightly pricier than the others, but it is going to be the fastest way for us to get there.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, it's going to be the hardest way for me to weasel out of paying.
The fee for this one is
You-
like, it's like 750 gold. That's not terrible for some of you. Like, and
not a
that's the
matter
total.
of how-
That's the total. Like, it doesn't matter how many people go through. It's 750 round trip. That's or just not
Flat
round
rate?
trip. Yeah, flat rate.
Okay. With that knowledge, like, she kind of untenses because, the idea of like spending anything because of the shield makes her
Yeah.
kind of go on the defensive.
So I assume we are going. You see, Cypher kind of
Yeah.
point towards the door.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Quick question. Where's KT been?
KT is somewhere in the tower. He would have been in your room last, but you guys had left him here, so like he would probably just be like, he'd probably be up in your room right now sleeping, but he does have access to like move around and like go places in the tower.
Okay.
If you're worried about him pissing on the floors, Cerberus is taking care of that.
That's what I assumed. I assumed someone would be taking care of him.
Essentially, one of the
When I
constructs of
wasn't.
the tower would be like assisting him and like going, like, essentially a room has been created specifically so that he can relieve himself. So, considering this is a magical tower.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna try sneaking my way up there. If he's still asleep, I'm gonna leave a little treat next to him.
stealth check.
Uh-oh.
8. as you kind of like open the door, it creaks a little more than you expected. And he kind of like smacks his lips a little bit and kind of like tiredly looks up to you. Goes, just like, hello.
Hey, boy.
Lets out a yawn, kind of does a stretch and goes, is it time to go somewhere? Or are you just here to say hi?
The teleportation didn't say anything about no pets, right?
It didn't specify, but this is a business model, so it didn't mention that it's pet friendly either. So, though, then again, you would expect. Actually, scratch that. Most businesses wouldn't specify that because rangers go to these places, and rangers have pets all the time. So the fact that it's not there means you probably could have a pet with you.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Easier to.
You ever teleported, boy?
Negative.
Me either. Let's go.
He happily prances along with you. You all head out of the tower, heading to the business that Lebog had found. You know, getting in there, paying the 750 gold. Whoever wants to pay it can, or you guys can split it as you feel. Figure that out.
It's in character for my character just to like go along with it and then never ask about paying back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cough, Remus.
What?
Remus pays for the teleportation.
I have no idea what is going on at all.
Dave,
No
it's
idea
it's
where we're
it's been
teleporting. I
the
have no
it's
fucking
it's
clue.
been the equivalent of the shopping episode without any really shopping happening. It's been
How
an
far
information
do I get in
episode.
hatching this egg.
It's not anywhere closer right now.
Can I cast chronomancy on it? Some form of spell. Let's see, is there's time spell.
Roll me Arcana to see if you could craft
Bro,
something up.
I was cooking dinner and then forgot that my accountant sent me stuff for life insurance. And then for about an hour, I was trying to stumble my way through health documentation forms. I got a 16 plus 6.
You're able to slightly accelerate the time that it will take for this thing to hatch.
Fuck yeah. As soon as this thing hatches, the world's gonna feel my wrath. Not
Yeah,
really.
so
I'm just gonna
whoever,
blow
yeah,
this.
I'll say Remus pays for it with the money that his daddy gave him.
Fuck
before
you
he
mean?
left.
If I'm teleporting, I already had a crystal on me.
You're all shunted to.
You forgot my
actually,
shopping spree episode. I have so much time now.
everyone roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Why?
No reason.
That's weird. Con saving throw? What does a 16 get me?
I can move people's dice around. That's pretty funny.
That's crazy.
18.
I forgot we're supposed to be doing this on Foundry. I was half debating saying fucking just running zombies. It's like I have no idea what's going on.
Okay. Thomas, what did you get?
What was I rolling again?
Constitution
Just
saving
on
throw.
save.
Okay, that was it. Okay. It is a +6, so dirty 20.
I rolled the wrong thing for Casey. Dirty 20. There you go.
Oh wait, I forgot. I have a con modifier. Holy shit. Alright. My 16 is a 18. My bad.
Okay, you all don't suffer from teleportation sickness.
That's a thing?
For this company, yes.
well,
Which
yes.
essentially all it is just like the equivalent of like what stasis sickness would do. It's just like induced vomiting, nausea. In very, very rare cases, you may be missing a finger or something.
Not really improving my outlook on teleportation here.
But
I have
you
a
guys are all
question.
perfectly fine. What?
Was Remus the one casting the teleportation? Or
No,
paying
this is a
for it?
company. This is a company that has teleportation
Yeah,
circles they send you
A
to.
company you can sue if something goes wrong.
Facts.
It's Wayland circles.
Oh, we had to pay. That's jank. I got a teleportation circle. What the fuck?
You don't know the symbol though for the place that you'd be going.
Yeah.
And do you really want to be at legal fault if something goes wrong?
Were you gonna sue me? If something
Yeah.
goes wrong with teleportation, I don't think you're gonna be able to hold a fucking pen.
Anywhom, you arrive in the city of Chalrin.
That came out kind of
Kokana.
harsh. I apologize.
That came out very harsh.
That was kind of dickish of me. I wasn't trying to be. It's been a long day.
You upon exiting the building, you find yourselves in what looked to be a very large mining town. And you can definitely tell it's a mining town due to the market that you walk out into mostly sells various minerals in various shops, which include arcane crystals that are used to power most automatons and constructs, as well as places that sell fine silvers, golds, and other things that seem to be ever so slightly laced with the weave.
Do they have any creeper heads?
No.
Okay, well, obviously not a good mining town. I could hear Tyler combusting internally. I've been silent for most of this session.
I know.
I'm trying to make up for that.
I gotta make up for the quiet time. Okay.
Mhm.
You arrived in Shalrin, though. You guys know where you do need to head. By this point, it's 2 in the afternoon. You guys have probably another 6-7 hours of daylight.
Is the doggy with us?
KT is with you. That's why he's on screen.
Can I ride on the dog? I'm gonna ride on the doggy.
You are small enough
Can
to
I
ride on the
ask
back
the
of
dog
KT.
if I could add him? I'm barely 2 feet.
Yeah, I know. You are big enough. You are small enough to do this.
Yeah. He's a medium-sized creature. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I could ride on him.
Okay,
I'm
Remus
small.
is
I have that
riding on the
speed
back of
debuff.
KT. Yeah, Remus is riding on the back of KT. As you guys kind of exit out in the market, and Cypher kind of looks around, kind of intrigued by everything, just says, I guess to the mountains we go? Unless do we have something we need to do in town? I've not been fully paying attention.
We can go open the way to the tower first.
Hey,
We're virtually just there.
hey, KT, do you mind if I put a rune on you?
For what purpose?
Protection?
As long as it doesn't damage my circuitry.
Okay. He's giving me permission, though, yes?
Yes.
Okay, cool. KT has a glyph of warding with the spell Shield cast on it.
I thought you were about to say fireball. I was like,
I'm not gonna hurt the dog.
Yeah, I know.
I'm inscribing one. It'll take 2 hours. So I guess I'll be doing this for a minute. I was gonna do one
Yeah.
of Shield and another one of fucking Dimension Door.
Okay. Okay.
LeBog, I guess, is walking next to me. Would just see me painting on the back of the dog's body.
Yes. I assume the bog's like, it's beyond help. I can't stop him.
Yeah, at this point.
I'm
Okay.
helping. LeBog would recognize it, I feel like. You've seen Shield be cast before.
So you guys find a tavern. You know, open up a way to the tower with it. And then I assume heading into the mountains.
Yeah.
You have the rough coordinates of where you need to go. Whoever wishes to, survival check to lead the way. Cypher is not good at survival. Cipher will not be.
I
not-
did really well.
I got a 19.
Damn, you did better than me.
Xena is in her book and has no idea where you guys are.
Yeah. Yeah, I got no idea.
All right.
Bro, Remus
Everyone's
is retarded.
leading the way except
Remus got
for
a 1.
Xena and Remus.
Remus is focused on his glyph wardings. Okay.
Bro, I'm scribing out right now. I'm locked in. The stimulants have kicked in. My ADHD medicine is working in overdrive. I'm locked.
Rhea has a spout of just like, I know where to go. She leads the way, kind of, pushing through the mountains. It takes you a fair amount of the day to get through before you finally reach a large clearing within the mountains. Yeah, also known as a valley.
Bro, no way, really?
Up within this valley,
And
Uh,
anti-mountain.
the reverse mountain, inside out mountain. Good job playing in character.
Yeah, spot on.
So upon
That was a good
pushing,
one.
pushing down into this valley, you can see like there are ruins within it, as well as an odd temple-looking structure. The only thing that seems to be standing within this area, with a set of wooden double doors that look to be fairly weathered at best. You also see there are 3 individuals that seem to be within this ruin. I will move your companions down to the bottom of the screen. They're gonna sit next to the fire. You know what?
Dogs love laying in front of the fire.
Yes, perfect. Now we have a perfect thing. You see 3 individuals though within this ruin that seem to be looking around. One of which is kind of digging around these pillars and such. A golden dragonborn, dressed in a scholarly cloak of sorts. With him, standing a few feet away, there is a minotaur that seems to be wielding a glaive in one hand, and in the other hand just has a shield, just kind of, keeping guard. And with his arms crossed, leaned against a pillar, a fairly muscular-looking Kenku. That all seem to be just kind of there within the ruins. The Dragonborn himself is the one digging around within the dirt and, looking at inscriptions on pillars and such.
Do any of them look familiar, either from someone I recognize or reference from the journal?
Negatory.
Got it. Strangers?
Yes, all strangers.
Can I prep a spell?
Sure.
Okay.
What spell?
You'll find out.
Disintegrate.
I wish I had that.
No, I'm glad you don't. What are you guys doing? As you guys kind of make your way down into this valley, you can see these 3 individuals. The Kenku notices you, doesn't seem to respond. He's just kind of eyeing you guys from a distance, arms crossed, leaned against the pillar. Minotaur has not noticed you, kind of like staring up at the sky, looks bored out of his mind, occasionally looks down, kind of kicks at the dirt. Not really paying attention.
And this was where the coordinates roughly led us to.
Yes.
Hi, guys.
The Minotaur kind of jumps and, oh. Yeah, the Dragonborn glances over towards all of you and kind of stands up, looking a bit intrigued, and says, I didn't think anyone else came out this far into the mountains. What brings you lot out here?
We're just adventuring, looking for stuff.
Oh, what kind of things are you looking for? I'm here looking for, information myself, and possibly we can aid one another.
Oh, what kind of information are you looking for?
Specifically, draconic runes and inscriptions that are on various dig sites around the country and actually in various parts of the world. Trying trying to learn a little bit about my heritage.
Hey, do you think they're part of the black dragon, the shadow people?
None of those words were close to what you're trying to talk about. I don't know.
Okay.
Do you by chance know what this ruins place is called?
Oh, it goes by several different names that I've heard in the past, but I know specifically he gestures over towards the one building standing within this. It says something about an old man's nightmares or something. But
Oh
there's
yeah.
other things that this dig site does date back before the calamity, and I'm quite interested in finding its secrets.
Well, good news, guys. We're here. I don't know if we have anything that could help you though.
Have you seen any inscriptions such as this one? And kind of like gestures towards the pillar he's looking at. Who speaks Draconic?
I do.
You do. Looking at the pillar, you can read the words. He cried out to the gods, pleaded for their aid in his time of need, but there was no reply. Only the calling of the abyss.
Interesting.
So I've been looking for things such as this, as well as other information, specifically about the Dredgemont clan, if you've ever heard of them.
Have I heard of them?
History check. With a 12, you would have heard of a very specific one. The name Thallo Dredgemont comes to mind. The famous bard and sorcerer, as well as known by some as the Golden Were-Dragon of Almoria. I'm going to send in the chat, too, what you read of the one message. For some reason, it's sending it that way.
Hey, Rhea, do you know about them?
Could I roll a history check with advantage?
Yes, I will give you advantage because you would have been around the time of that, yes.
Only a 12.
You have the same thoughts. You heard the same name. Your mother had spoken of him, meeting him at one point, and was intrigued by his musical prowess and his very formal nature.
What I
Don't
have
recall
known
much
about
beyond
him
that.
via my research,
History check.
and that would just be normal.
Yes.
Never mind.
The name does not dawn on you like it does the others. As he does this or whatever, you see him like after you read the thing, he immediately like pulls out a scroll and kind of like presses it over the thing and starts essentially making a what's the term I'm looking for? Making a rub of this inscription. If you guys know what a rub is.
Yeah, with like a charcoal.
Yeah, essentially. And then like immediately after he's done, like cat like mutters something, and you watch as like some sort of magical like sheen goes over it almost to preserve it, and he rolls up the scroll and kind of slips it into a bag of holding he has on him. He says, "Oh, where are my manners?" He says, "The name is Ignitus Dredgemont, one of the few remaining Dredgemonts and aspiring sage and researcher of my family's heritage, as it has not been well documented. My companions here," and he gestures towards the Minotaur, this is Kaldrak Stoneskin, my brave sword for hire, and the quiet one, and he points towards the Kenku, is Gizrock. Essentially my bodyguard that has agreed to do it due to a bit of an agreement we've made due to situations in the past we don't speak of.
Understandable.
So did we talk about why he's? This was a Minotaur talking to us, right?
No. This is the Dragonborn. The Minotaur is behind him
okay.
with the glaive and the shield, not saying anything yet.
I was about to comment about how eloquent he was.
How regal.
For a Minotaur.
And yeah, as he says, Ignitus says, and who might all of you be, if you wish, I guess, to share? We're all being nice here.
My name's Lebog, and I'll hold out my hand for him.
I'm gonna roll a history check for him to see if he knows who you are. He goes, Lebog, that name does sound familiar. You wouldn't by chance be someone popular on the internet by chance? And he kind of shakes your hand.
Yeah, I'm a YouTuber.
Oh, that's where I've heard that name before. I don't get on there much, but you have explored a few places that intrigued me from time to time. And he kind of like looks towards the rest of you. Cypher kind of steps forward and says, I'm Cypher Nightshade. Not really much for formalities, but kind of offers him a hand, and Ignitus takes it, shakes it. The rest of you, would you like to introduce yourselves?
No.
No.
No. No, I'll introduce myself. I'll walk up. Hey, I'm Thomas. I'm a pyromancer and a teacher, a scholar. How you doing?
Well, doing better now that we have more people here to discuss things with, and it's a pleasure to meet you. Your name sounds familiar, but I've heard a lot of different names in my time. I too also specialize in fire-based magics.
Excellent. Maybe we could compare notes later, but no, we're here for a reason. I turned to the group. What was the reason we're here again?
For that layer over there.
Oh yes, that decrepit temple.
Damn,
Be weary
don't
of it.
Be laying out the fucking temple like that.
Yes.
Decrepit temple.
I wasn't too fond of the man who lives inside, but I'm not a fan of grouchy old men who want nothing to do with me snooping around to try to learn some history. Understandably, of course, but still, it wasn't the most pleasant to be around. But doom and gloom, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So, how many sites have you been to?
This will be the third. The other ones were less fruitful than this one, considering this very fascinating inscription. I'm hoping to though find information on the were-dragons at some point. Though this site seems to be lacking in it, and it only seems to be pre-calamity sites that seem to have such information within them. And this is actually the first that I found of that type of nature.
Oh, what were the other two?
The other two was apparently believed to be pre-calamity, later discovered to be built probably 150 or so years after the calamity had occurred in honor of some draconic gods of sorts or something, or kings or something. The names were not there, the inscriptions were half half worn away, and the only thing
Are
we
you
could
talk-
find was a shattered mural of sorts, depicting some dragon that we couldn't quite put back together.
Interesting.
Are you talking about the? You said kings?
Something of that sort, yes.
Demon kings?
No. Draconic. More dragon-esque.
Uh,
Does the
okay.
Dragon Heart Crusade sound familiar?
Can't say that it rings any bells. It intrigues me based on the name, but it doesn't ring any bells. I've never encountered anyone from such a group. If that's what you're wondering.
Okay. I'm just gonna warn you, if you're gonna look for these pre-calamity sites, they might try to kill you.
I'll keep that in mind. Are you lot also doing such things?
Pretty much, yeah.
Would you be interested in possibly helping one another in some way? Always look for more allies in today's age of attempting to find things that were lost to time. And if it's
Yeah, I
trust
see
that's
why
an
not.
if trust is an issue, I swear by my own bloodline that I am not the kind to backstab. I just simply wish to find information.
Can I roll insight?
Yes, you can.
Damn.
He feels 100% authentic to you.
All right. So, I don't know. Do you want to like just exchange phone numbers or something?
Oh, yes, of course. And he like digs around in like a bag or whatever and like pulls out like essentially a business card that's like it looks like he printed these in the expectation that he'd be famous, and that just didn't happen. You kind of hand you one. He's like, that would be my contact. If you lot are going into that, that temple over there, we will probably be out here for a few more hours looking about. Who knows what other secrets are possibly buried in the dirt and near one of these pillars.
All right. I don't know how long it'll take us in there, so I guess if you're not out here when we get back,
Oh, good luck to you then.
good luck to you too.
Gives you a nod. And, goes back to doing his thing. You all make your way towards the temple. Looking upon above the doorway, you can see the inscriptions just above that says, "All ye who enter shall pray to thou God, that you may not be damned to this place." Cypher immediately says, "That's not ominous in any kind of way."
We expected something like this.
This is all within our parameters.
I was going to try
Right.
opening the door.
It pushes open with ease. Pushing inside, you can find what looks to be an old, kind of small cathedral, like a small temple chamber made for worship. There's no statue, though, within this chamber, no holy symbols or anything. There are a bunch of broken pews here and there, as well as at the very end of the room, next to a very large, dark doorway, there's an old man sitting in a chair. Looks to be human. White hair, or what's really left of his white hair. Very thin, you can see his head, like the skin underneath the hair, whatever. Wrinkles all over. He looks to be probably in his 90s.
You mean a scalp?
Yes, you can see his scalp, yes. He looks to be in his 90s, though, heavily wrinkled, large bags under his eyes, doesn't look like he sleeps very much, dull gray eyes, dressed in sackcloths and, like, tattered robe, essentially. no shoes, sitting upon an old stone bench near the door. Kind of very slowly kind of glances up to the lot of you. And then kind of like head kind of goes back down and just says, I have a feeling I know why all of you are here. I must warn that not many come out of the chamber beyond without perishing first.
Yeah, we know the dangers.
And you know that what is within this temple is unholy and produced by my own mind.
Yeah, it is called the Lair of the Old Man's Nightmare.
Were you ever a young man? Was it ever the lair of the young man's nightmare?
No, but I was a very long time ago. Before I angered the gods. And damned myself to this place.
Quick question. Like, what year is it?
It is. Let me
Is it
pull up.
1455?
I want to say 1455.
Yeah, so, like a year ago, do you remember some man giving you a medallion?
He gives you a nod and says, I do. One of the few to visit me without trying to enter beyond this doorway.
Do you still have that medallion with you?
Very slowly, shakily points his hand to the doorway and just says, it is
I was
within
hoping you
with
wouldn't
its
say that.
prize.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that.
He asked me
Well,
to
guys,
protect it.
we know where an artifact is.
Yeah, Cypher kind of turns to all of you and just says, I guess we're entering? Oh, did you leave KT at the tower earlier, or is he still with you?
I probably would have left him because we're going into some nightmares.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, as you kind of say this, you say we know where the things are. The doors slowly open enough to allow people in. And he says, I already know your choice. Enter if you wish to find what you seek. I'll be waiting here, whether you die or survive.
Okay. There's also some kind of key that we find in here, right?
Correct.
All right. I'm just gonna walk in.
Cypher's just right behind you. No fear, just like, all right, let's do this. So, as you all step into the doorway, the door slowly closes behind you, and you are overtaken by darkness. That's what we'll end tonight's session. Because I don't want to run a combat at 11 o'clock at night. So, it's only, this was the information episode.
LFG, let's fucking go.
And plus, I know everyone's getting very tired, because I'm also very tired, because I've not been sleeping well this week. Let's go. Anywho,
Neither am I.
It's been a week for not sleeping well. That's everyone I've talked to has had a shitty time sleeping. Anywho, we hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, follow the Twitch or join the Discord for updates whenever we go live. If you want to catch up on previous episodes, we have a YouTube page that is every single campaign session we've ever done is organized between their campaign playlists and is there for you to watch, whether continued, discontinued, or in the making. And as always, we hope to see you all in the next one. Peace.